Suratul Asr, Suratul Asr. This is one of the most common surah of the Quran which we always recite. And today we want to learn basic Arabic speaking skills from this surah. Before anything, if you have not subscribed to our channel, hit on the subscription button in order to be part of this family. Thanks. Assalamu alaikum, ahlan wa sahlan wa marhaban bikum. You all are welcome back to our series on Learn Arabic Language through the Quran. And in front of us today, we have another surah, and that is Surah Al-Asr. What is Al-Asr? Al-Asr is it's a common term in the Muslim world or in the Islamic world, because we have a salah which we call Salat Al-Asr, the prayer of Asr, which is usually observed at the forenoon. Now let's jump into the surah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala began this surah by saying Wal Asr, and that is the first verse. Now we can see that Wal Asr, this is a two-in-one word. The first one is the wa, and the second is Al Asr. This wa, unlike the other wa which we already know, which means and, wa and, where we say Muhammadun wa Talib, Muhammad and a student, Fatimatu wa Aminatu, Amina and Fatima. But here this wa is not a conjunction particle as we know. This wa does not mean and. This wa is called harfu jarrin, a preposition, wa qasamin, and a particle of oath. This particle, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses it a lot in the Quran in making an oath, in swearing, like when you see Wadduha, Washamsi, Wal Qamari, and the likes of it. And a lot of places you will see this. So this word is used when swearing, and we usually say Wallahi, I swear by Allah, wa Rabbil Kaaba, by the Lord of Kaaba. So you can see this word is used when making an oath or when swearing. And this word is also considered to be a harfu jarrin, which means a preposition that the noun coming after it will be carrying kisra, and that is why we see Wal Asri. The Asri is carrying kisra. Now Asri here generally it is said to mean ad-dahru, which means time. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse is swearing by the time, Wal Asri, by the time. And it is also said that it could mean the time of Asr, because that's the time when everyone is out either doing good or bad. So Wal Asri, by the time. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whatever he swears by, that means that thing has so much importance. That's why he swears by it. Another thing to learn is that we as humans, we don't swear by anything other than Allah. But Allah, who is our creator, has the right to swear with whatever he chooses to swear. So it is wrong for us to say, Wa Abi, I swear by my father. Wa Ummi, I swear by my mother. No, this is wrong. The only one to swear with as Muslims is to swear by our creator Allah. We say, Wallahi, wa Rabbil Kaaba, by the Lord of Kaaba. Now, Wal Asri, by the time or by the passage of time, because time is so important in the life of a human, because whatever time you've spent, you will never get it again. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is swearing by the time to show us how important our time is, so we don't waste time, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask us concerning our days, our hours, our seconds, how we spend them. Wal Asri, by the passage of time. Then the next verse, Innal insana lafi khusr. The first word here is inna, and inna is called harfu tawkid. That is a particle of emphasis, and this we have discussed it earlier. And inna similarly has other subordinates, other sisters, which have the same rules with it, like anna, ka'anna, lakinna, later, la'alla. All these are sisters of inna. If you have not watched the episode where we discussed all of the inna and the sisters and the rules guiding them, you can click on the link above. So inna means indeed, verily, truly, with emphasis. So inna, and when inna comes, the next noun will be carrying fatha. That is why it is wrong for us to say inna Allahu. Rather we say inna Allaha. It is wrong for us to say inna Muhammadun, but we say inna Muhammadan. And inna is usually introduced to a nominal sentence. So Allah is saying inna, indeed, al-insana, innal insana. What is al-insan? Al-insan means the human beings. Innal insana, Indeed, the human beings, indeed, the mankind. So al-insan means mankind. So innal insana, indeed, verily, the mankind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is establishing this fact about the mankind. What is the fact? Lafi khusr, innal insana lafi khusr. So lafi, this is also a two-in-one word. The first one is the la, and the second is the fi. The la here is called harfu tawkid, a particle of emphasis also. Like if I say inna allaha la ghafurun. Indeed Allah la ghafurun is indeed forgiving. So la ghafurun, that la here is used to also emphasize. So la fi in is indeed in. Innal insana lafi, indeed the mankind is indeed in. So Allah is emphasizing all of the parts of this statement to show how important this statement is. Innal insana lafi, indeed mankind is in. So fi there means in. So we already know fi, which means in. Fil baiti, in the house. Fil masjidi, in the mosque. So when fi comes, the next noun will be carrying kesra. That's why we say fil masjidi and not fil masjidu. Innal insana lafi, indeed mankind is in khusr. What is khusr? Khusr simply means khasara, which means loss. So Allah is saying that the mankind is indeed in loss. This is a general statement which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will now make specific by the next statement. So he's saying wal asri, by the passage of time. As the time passes by us, innal insana lafi khusr, indeed, verily, truly, mankind is in loss. Now moving to the next verse, it says illa alladhina amanu wa amilu salihati wa tawasaw bil haqqi wa tawasaw bis sabr. The first word here is illa, which means adatul istisna, that is a particle of exception or exemption. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said earlier that wal asr, by the passage of time, innal insana lafi khusr, the mankind indeed is in loss. Mankind indeed is in loss. So Allah is now making an exemption that there are some who are exempted from this general statement. Allah says illa. So illa means except. I can use this illa in a lot of sentences, like when I say ja'a at-tullabu illa Muhammadan, all the students came except Muhammad. Or I say hadarat at-talibatu illa Fatima, all of the female students were present except for Fatima. So this is how you use illa. Illa means except. Then he says alladhina. Alladhina is the plural form of alladhi, that is who, for the plural masculine. So alladhina, and this word is very common in the Quran. Innal ladhina amanu, innal ladhina kafaru, ya ayyuhal ladhina amanu, ya ayyuhal ladhina kafaru, alladhina. So Allah is saying illa alladhina, except for those. Amanu. Amanu is gotten from amana. Amana means he believed. Amanu, they believed. Like ja'a, they came, he came. Ja'u, they came. Akala, he ate. Akalu, they ate. You can see amana, he believed. Amanu, they believed. This is a past tense verb. So he says illa alladhina amanu, except for those who believe. Recall that he said innal insana lafi khusr, indeed mankind is in loss. So here he's saying that except for those who believe. Those who believe are not in loss. Wa amilu salihati, the word wa amilu, wa means and, then amilu means they did, just like amanu, amilu, from amila, he did. Amilu, they did. Wa amilu, and they did. As-salihati, as-salihah means good deed. As-salihat means righteous deeds, a lot of good deeds. So wa amilu salihati, and they did good righteous deeds. Wa tawasaw, wa and tawasaw, from tawasaw, meaning to he encouraged. Tawasaw, and they encourage one another, they encourage others. After doing good righteous deeds themselves, they believed and they did good righteous deeds themselves. They are now extending the service of preaching to others, encouraging them. Watawasaw, and they encourage. Bil haqqi, they encourage with truth. They encourage people to be truthful in their actions, in their words, in order so that their actions will go in line with with the statement of belief which they have uttered, that we believed. You can believing alone is not enough. You need to follow it up with actions which will show and be a support to your belief. So amilu solihati, they did good righteous deeds. So now they encourage. Bil haki, B means with. They encourage with truth. They encourage people to be truthful in their actions and words. So, and they also encourage be sabr, with patience. They encourage people to become patient, to be patient while performing the actions which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala seek that they should do. You should be patient while praying, because it is not easy to be truthful. It is not easy to do good righteous deeds. A lot of attacks will come. Lies against you will be there. So in order to achieve this full righteousness, you need to be patient. So they are encouraging one another with righteousness, with truth, and they also encourage that they should remain patient while they are on this righteous path. Again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Wal-Asr, by the passage of time. Innal insana lafi khusr. Indeed, mankind is in loss. Illa alladhina amanu, except for those who believe. Wa amilu salihati, and did good righteous deeds. Watawasaw bil haqqi, and encourage one another with truth. Watawasaw bis sabr, and encourage one another with patience. So we can see a lot of scholars have said that if there was no other revelation other than this surah, it would have been enough for mankind as guidance, because here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has stated the guideline that all mankind who will not do the following, who will not be categorized under the following, are in loss. And what is the category that have been saved? Those who believe, they do good righteous deeds, they encourage one another with truth, and they also encourage patience. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us understanding. With this, we come to the end of this episode. Until we meet again, when we will be talking on the next surah, stay tuned, subscribe to our channel for frequent updates, like, share with your friends. Until then, ma'as salama.